Hello and welcome to less an unboxing and more a test of this camera. I mean, I am going to unbox the Gadget Retro Freak here, but it's more just to see how this camera fares in terms of video quality and that sort of thing. The next unboxing should be a little bit better set up, for lack of better words. Simply put, this came 2 days before the estimated or the scheduled delivery date from FedEx, so for once they actually did something right. But the fact remains that I don't have everything I need, which is why I'm using a temporary tripod, which is unfortunately a bit easy to jolt there, and I'm limited to about an hour and a half of video because I don't have my full SD card yet. Anyways, on to the device itself. The Gadget Retro Freak is an emulator console that uses original cartridges, like the Retron 5, but at the same time, it has the distinct advantage of having a PC engine / TurboGrafx slot for starters, and second, a few other features we will go over, namely the support for USB controllers rather than original controllers, which some may consider a detriment. They do have an official adapter you can use, but being able to support any USB controller is quite nice, and advertises working with DualShock 3 and DualShock 4 controllers. So just a quick overview of the box. You have the Gadget mascot here, and the Retro Freak logo, and a little rendering of the console. I don't know any Japanese, so I apologize. I cannot read any of this out for you, but it's talking about features and consoles it supports, and it has a picture there. Little advertisement for their adapter, which supports NES, Genesis, PC Engine, Super Nintendo, and the Famicom expansion port input devices. Apparently it does support things like the Famicom keyboard. What's included in the box? I got the standard version, so I don't have the adapter. I didn't want to spend the extra $50 because I already have some adapters floating around. And then some details on the back of the box. What we're going to do here, pop this open. So here's a little flyer for accessories. They were talking about this. This does also support Sega Mark III and Master System games with the use of the official adapters. But the Mark III adapter, the official one from Sega, is actually quite rare. And they said they wanted to add Game Gear support, and this is an ad for what appears to be a Mark III and Game Gear adapter. I would actually invest in that. Another card, some kind of registration card. Got a box on the side here. This has the controller in it. Let's take a look at this quickly. Curious to see how this controller goes, because it's very easy to mess up controllers. Alright. Oh, okay. That is a good sign. The D-pad here, it's kind of hard to see, but a lot of cheap D-pads, you press the center and the whole thing goes in, and that's just garbage. Start and selector and home and option here are little rubbery buttons like they're on the Super Nintendo, but you have A, B, X, Y, start, select, home, option, L and R, and the D-pad. Not a bad little controller. They could have done a hell of a lot worse. Here we have the HDMI cable, included one. Doesn't appear to be very long, but they included one in the first place, that's something. And I would presume that this is the AC adapter. Yep. One of those elongated bricks with the American and Japanese style plugs on it. Just for details. Does handle 100 through 240 volts. It's 5 volts at 2 amps. Positive tip. Fantastic. Sorry for the interruption. Everything just got really noisy at once. Anyways, this is the main device itself, the Retro Freak. Let's zoom in on it a little bit. Has the cartridge slots, the Mega Drive slot, a Super Nintendo slot, Famicom slot. I assume that a 72 to 60 pin adapter will work for NES games in there. Game Boy slot, the HuCard slot, 3 USB ports, HDMI, micro SD, power, the power button, So, anyways, the interesting feature on this device is you can install the games to the internal storage of the microSD card. I mean, it's effectively dumping them into memory to play them in the first place, so why not just save them? And what you can do is, after you have a bunch of games saved on it, slide this right out, and then you have this nice little micro console, 2 USB ports on it, and its own little power LED. And you can carry your whole library on something that is not that big. Here's my cell phone compared to it. This is a Galaxy Note 3, so it's a big phone. So, anyways, tune in a few days and I will have some video footage of this thing running.